Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I had told some of you brothers in email, text, and in the comment section of the last video that I produced that there would be a follow-up video concerning this whole Nia Wilson issue, well, the Nia Wilson story, but concerning the larger issue of the question that the hype behind this story raises. And I say the hype behind this story because, as tragic as this case is, this happens tens of thousands of times a year in the black community, of innocent young people being murdered, and usually it's by other young black people. Okay? So, and a couple of people misunderstood my last video, so I'm going to take the time out to address those particular people in a second. But let me feed you guys some information. Number one, whenever there's a story that I do of this magnitude, where there's a lot of hype behind it, you can almost guarantee that there's going to be a follow-up video shortly thereafter, because I'm usually going to have something else to say about it. And on a side note, for you guys, once again, who haven't signed up, haven't subscribed, I'm sure most of my real followers have, make sure you're signed up to me on BitChute and Black Avenger TV. Because what I'm going to start doing, or what I may start doing, is I may just start uploading videos on those other platforms without announcing it over here. It depends on how big the issue is that we're talking about. But one of the things I'm going to do in this particular case is I'm going to address this issue regarding the Egyptian troll and Husseray. For those of you who know who I'm talking about, as some of you know, recently they have gone from being allies to being enemies. And this is hilarious because I told people that this was going to happen. I'm actually surprised that I haven't gotten a message from the likes of JPV or somebody regarding this issue. But now, 3-4 months after these females were joining forces to try to fuck with me on other platforms, including BitChute, and, mess with JPV and Minister Jap, and people, well, not people, but degenerate, weak-ass simps and their female equivalents were, cheering on and egging on the Egyptian troll and Husseray, boasting about how strong of a force they were. And I said it in about 2 or 3 videos. I said, mark my fucking words. This alliance will not last. It will not last, just like the SOS Sisters Overcoming Stereotypes bullshit didn't last between, what's her name, Crystalline Carers and Sophia Nelson and Simone 56. That shit fell apart in less than 2 months. And why is that? Because as one of you brothers, well, actually, a couple of you brothers had mentioned, the black American female is an agent of chaos. So what were they going to do? It's been several months. I've gotten a few emails here and there about the Egyptian troll. But what were they going to do when the likes of Brian Solange and, others were not around to wax that ass? What they were going to do was they were going to get bored because there was too much peace going on. There wasn't no drama with black dudes that are above their level. So when it died down with the beef between us, then they were going to start quarreling with one another. The same thing that Karazin and Sophia Nelson started doing. When Sophia Nelson realized that, Crystalline Karazin was more popular than her, she started getting insecure, which Sophia Nelson always has been. And she started getting jealous, and she started trying to, throw her weight around as a attorney, actually ex-retired attorney, and the whole thing went to shit. This is why black female, between this and what's been happening to the number of violent attacks, including murders and assaults on black women, both by perpetrators in and outside of their race, black females really cannot stand on their own 2 feet and survive in this world. It's just the truth. I mean, between all the beefing and all the, them getting blindsided by attacks verbally and physically, they really they're really gonna start yearning, and some of them already are, for the protections of black males. You know what I'm saying? Because again, a majority of black males, the simps and the degenerates, are the only ones that are gonna put up with them, and the only ones that they even have so much of a snowball's chance in hell defending them. I mean, they're really out in the open. So now, like I said, Husseray and the Egyptian troll are at each other's throats. And the only people that this surprises are people that are not me. Because I told y'all this shit was going to happen. I noticed this even with my ex-girlfriend, my ex-fiance. When there is too much peace, I don't know what happened to the black American female historically, but for some reason she just cannot let air sit still. She just cannot let peace reside. When there is too much peacefulness, when there's too much, non-drama, she's gonna stir some shit up. And if it's not with the usual suspects, her usual enemies, she's gonna go out and she's gonna make some enemies. That's why these thoughts are on Instagram and Facebook and other social media, the likes, following more people that are following them, talking about they got fucking haters. Nigga, how do you have haters when you following 2,500 people and only 500 people are following you? I mean, what the fuck? Like I say, man, if on a side note, if you want to hear that video where I'm gonna go hard in the paint, check me out on BitChute. Also, make sure you signed up to me on Black Avenger TV. I fell behind, but I still got to make this video regarding this incident that happened a couple of months ago in northwestern Florida with this house whores of Miami chick. So yeah, make sure you signed up to me over there. That video is gonna be coming out soon. In the meantime, there was a brother that brung up a very interesting point that I had kind of missed in my research of this Nia Wilson chick. And again, I stand by what I said. She didn't deserve, she was innocent at the time of what happened to her, meaning she did not provoke the attack by this white ex-felon and ex-con, but he had brung up the interesting point about her Facebook posts. Now, me and a couple of other people on my team in the war room that are very effective, we're currently in the process of looking up a Twitter, because more than Instagram or Facebook or any of these other social media accounts, Snapchat, whatever, Twitter is the quickest, fastest way to get inside of a person's mind and inside of a person's history. If you check most of these young thoughts, just anybody, but especially these young thoughts Twitter pages, they have anywhere from between 10 to, I've seen as many as 100,000 plus tweets. Okay, so it's like literally they're spilling their mind onto their Twitter page every second of every day. Some of these fools tweet 400 times a day, I shit you not. So so far we haven't been able to find a Twitter, but this one brother that goes by the name on YouTube, Akintunde Nation, he made a video that was titled something to the tune of Nia Wilson's Facebook posts versus Stephon Clark's tweets. And, as the hours have been going on and more well-known black YouTubers have been making video commentary about this issue, from Mr. Sotomayor, I seen a video by The Advice Show, Paris Milan, I seen a video by Tariq Nasheed. Some people within the so-called black sector of YouTube have been bringing up the fair point, including in my comment section, that we should hold Nia Wilson and all these other black females that meet their demise, that become, martyrdized by social media and the news media to the same standards that we have been holding black males since Stephon Clark. And so Akintunde Nation, he skimmed over some of Nia Wilson's posts, and I did too. I didn't really look at them directly because I wanted to get the video that I made. I wanted to get that out as quickly as possible, and I knew it was going to take several hours to do so. That's why I usually, in big cases like this, as I said before, I make a follow-up video. But he noted that in her Facebook post, while there's no immediate indication that she, worshipped white men, or she overly downed black men, there was an indication that she said some pretty foul stuff about black females. The one thing you will notice about these young black thoughts is, no matter who they are, they seem to have a lot of hatred and anger built up inside of them, and it's not just directed at black men. It's also in a lot of cases primarily directed towards other black females. I just made a video about that Memphis thought, the half-breed that got stabbed to death trying to jump the other chick while pointing a gun at her baby. A lot of these females, they hate each other and themselves more than they hate black men. And that's something that we don't touch on a lot of times because we're always looking at things from our perspective. But, he made a fair point. If you look at Nia Wilson's Facebook post, she talked a lot of shit about, her hatred of other BITCHs. As she said herself, it seemed like every post was BITCH, and he brought up the fair point that, everybody jumped on Stephon Clark posthumously about his posts and these fake pro-black females and their simp conglomerates. They were talking about, oh, well, we're not going to support him because he's talking badly about black women and about how the only thing he wants to date this black the only thing he wants black is his Xbox, but yet you can go on any one of these females, dead or alive. I know because I've seen it myself. And like 90% of them will be talking shit about other black females that they fighting or arguing with or, threatening. How many black females do we know have gotten killed over Facebook beefs? Nakia Bailey, you go down the list, man. India Martin, Kiera Ona Rice, Brittany Allgood. So, and I just told you guys, quite literally, now Husseray and the Egyptian troll are at each other's throats, beefing with each other, beefing and quarreling with each other. Crystalline Cares and Sophia Nelson and Simone 56 got into it and broke up. SOS fell apart. Because these females, they're agents of chaos. Their brains, it's like at birth, somebody opened up their skull and just stirred their brains up like oatmeal. They are just mixed pickle. They don't know what they want. I even know that from females in my family. We go to a fast food drive-through and they can't decide what they want. Got the whole line held up and somebody honked their horn. They want to cuss them out. It goes from, oh, I want to order a number 2 to, no, well, maybe they're just mixed up in the head. Whether it's ordering food or whether it's, just beefing with another female just because she's there, just because she exists. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, from swirling to, all this crap on social media, this fake pro-black mess, you can't take anything that these females say seriously, man. You just can't. It's just a classic example of what the Joker said. Heath Ledger's Joker said in that second Batman remake that they did. What did Joker say? He said, I'm not your average criminal. I'm not about the money. I'm not about the power. I'm not about the political influence. The only thing I want is chaos. That being said, I told you guys yesterday, and I stand by that I was thinking about doing a 3-way panel discussion. However, what I've decided to do instead, and here comes my plane, so I'm going to have to hurry the fuck up, because I got to circle back around to the terminal, damn it. What I've decided to do, damn, 2 planes landed at the same time? What the fuck? That's a smaller plane. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm watching this damn airfield. This tiny airport. Boy, these people brave around here, boys. Damn ignorant ass hillbillies. Anyway, see that's why I hate flying. But anyway, subject for another video. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to go on the Obsidian Radio Live Network tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. sharp, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and forgive me, but I believe that's going to be 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be on the Obsidian Radio Live Network, and we're going to be discussing this issue, this very real issue, and very interesting, even intriguing issue that poses the question mark that I asked yesterday in my hour-long video regarding the Nia Wilson case. Should black men stand up for, defend, or even so much as feel sorry for innocent black females, or black females that are in despair, or black females in their time of need? Now, you guys have heard me make a video about this not a week ago, where I said, do not expect me to feel sorry for the majority of black females. And I still stand by that, okay? And don't get me wrong, I have made many videos. You guys know this that watch my content frequently. I have made many videos about these black females, such as the likes of Nakia Bailey, that, you know, they go out there looking for trouble, or, you know, that chick in Memphis, Tennessee. I forgot her name already. What was her name? Brittany Allgood. That they go out looking for trouble and they get a return on exactly the investment that they put in. I make videos going off on them females, even posthumously. Okay, so you know that, you know, I'm not, you know, putting on some Black Lives Matter t-shirt and going out marching in the middle of the streets, which I wouldn't do anyway. But I'm certainly not doing it for some young little dumbass thought that had it coming. Okay, y'all see me. I make plenty of videos about these little prettied up chicks that you know be meeting their early demise. But in a lot of cases, those videos are made in the negative, as far as being highly critical of them, you know, even after what happened, you know, that caused them to meet their demise. Okay, so I'm not just standing up and you know, marching or defending any of these females. However, on the flip side, there have been rare cases, as I also mentioned in my hour-long video, where I have stood up and defended certain black females. Okay, I defended Ronisha Orr. Okay, and there was no, you notice there was no protest. She was just as young and just as innocent at the time. I'm sure she was just as ratchet as Nia Wilson and all these other young thoughts. But at the time of her death, Ronisha Orr, who picked up another thought's baby out of the street that was wandering in the middle of a street on the 4th of July, she was just as innocent as Nia Wilson was when she got stabbed to death by this white criminal. Okay, but Ronisha Orr was stabbed to death by a black savage degenerate after, you know, after carrying out an act of kindness. You don't see any marching and any protests for Ronisha Orr. Is her life any less? She wore the same weave. She was in the same type of hood. Okay, Cleveland, Oakland, okay, several thousand miles apart, but it's the same type of hood. I'm sure she had just as many ratchet moments, you know. She was just as innocent, not doing nothing. Well, she actually was. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, Ronisha Orr is more worthy of having protests and demonstrations and outrage for what happened to her than this Nia Wilson chick is. Because she was carrying out an act of kindness, trying to be a good Samaritan, trying to save a little baby out of the street. And the baby mama thought of the baby of the child, took it the wrong way, as black females often do, and she called her savage simp to come and kill this woman for rescuing her baby out of the streets. That was her thank you. But you don't see no marching, no protests, no people marching through the streets talking about, who are we marching for? Ronisha Orr. Who are we marching for? Ronisha Orr. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. No justice, no peace. Black Lives Matter. You don't see none of that. Why? Because she was killed. She was stabbed viciously by another black male. And I'm sure the scene was just as violent, just as tragic, and just as disturbing as the one with Nia Wilson. So, the selective outrage thing is another issue that we have to keep in mind as well. But anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. But yeah, make sure you check me out. I'm going to be on the Obsidian Radio Live Network. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about all of these issues. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring attention to the Ronisha Orr case on Obsidian Radio Live Network, if I remember, just to expose the hypocrisy of this whole Nia Wilson thing. And in regards to the trolls and other people who misunderstood what I was saying, well, trolls, they don't misunderstand nothing. That's the whole purpose of being a troll, to intentionally stir trouble and drama and chaos and mayhem. But to the people who weren't trolls, that misunderstood what I said in the hour plus long video yesterday, in no way, shape, or form was I saying that black men should defend Nia Wilson. As a matter of fact, I told one of you brothers, okay, the first thing I did when I heard about this case, okay, as graphic as it was, I went and I started looking for a Twitter handle for Nia Wilson, because I wanted to type. I know a lot of you guys, it brung up the Stephon Clark factor and how these pro-black fakes were talking about how they weren't going to march or feel sorry for Stephon Clark because he had a Asian Mexican girlfriend or something, and he was talking about, he didn't want to deal with black females. So the first thing that I did, and I did that before the Stephon Clark case, 2 years ago, I made a video entitled, some of y'all may remember it, Just Type White. And in that video, I gave you guys a live streaming in real time pictorial display of what happens when you type in 90%, if not more, of black females' Twitter handles. Okay, meaning Twitter pages that have black female avatars, and all the usual shenanigans to let you know it's a black female. And then beside that, you type the word white. The type of things that will come up showing that they deify and worship, and some of whom have even, had white dick. Okay? So that's the first thing I did, but I couldn't find a Twitter handle for Nia Wilson, So I just have to take, I guess, her family's word for it that she was a sweet, innocent, darling little angel. And look, also don't misunderstand what I'm saying on the other side. I feel sorry for her family, just like I would feel sorry for anybody's family that goes through this. They may be ratchet, they may be low IQ, but still, they're going through something that nobody could ever imagine themselves going through with. Okay? She didn't deserve to die. I stand by that as well. Until I find something that proves otherwise. And you guys know I do my research. I stand by that. She was an innocent bystander that was brutally murdered. But the question still remains. Should black men stand up and defend even innocent black women in their time of need and despair, or should we feel sorry for them? Such as in this case. And I'm just talking primarily from, a internet reaction, social commentary point of view. I would say that whether or not a black man chooses to stand up and defend a black woman, in real life, if he sees something happening to her, is strictly at his own discretion. Of course, anybody in my family's off limits. Of course, I'm going to defend them, because we're blood. But outside of that, if I see some black hood thought getting her ass beat by the police, getting her ass beat by her boyfriend, wow, well, how ironically oxymoronic was that? But anyway, if I see her getting her ass beat or pushed up against a car or dragged, into a house by some dude that looked like her boyfriend or her ex, yeah, I'll probably call the police. But am I going to put myself at risk getting involved? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a toss-up, But anyway, guys, we're going to discuss more of that on the Obsidian Radio Live Network tomorrow. That's going to be 5 p.m. my time, Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It should be 3 p.m. in the West, Pacific Standard Time. You guys be there, and some of you guys are going to be getting an email in the war room, and talk to you again later, guys.